Navratri is a great occasion, and obviously it falls at a particular period in time because that is significant. The era of the feminine energy has already started. It started with that with the Mahalaya time, which is about a week or 10, 15 days before the Navratri, which is the Pitru Paksh, where we pray for our ancestors. And Navratri are the 9 days where you can. It starts after the new moon, on the new moon. New moon was yesterday, I think, and now the ascent of the moon starts. So 3 days for three deities: uh, Parvati, Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. Right? These are the 3 days, and they also, in a way, reflect the three states or three gunas that we have. Okay, what are the three gunas that we have? Can anybody, those who have done the building blocks of life, remember the three gunas that we discussed?
The tamas and rajas and sattvic, I think.
Yeah, wonderful. Good. So tamas is a state of inertia or a state of rest where really nothing much happens, or it's a process where there is no outwardly movement happening. All right. So which is also represented by the earth. Earth that way is known as the the tamas part of existence, where it's just there, just like a witness, what's happening around. Of course, when you put things in it, it grows, but there is not much of action on the earth as such. Okay, and the energies of annihilation also represent a sense of tamas, destruction. There is no growth in that sense. But it's also said that in the mother's womb, when you're there stuck in that womb for 9 months, that's also a state of tamas. And that's when you are born, and once you're born, there is a tremendous amount of activity. And that moves to the state of rajas, which is represented by Lakshmi. Action, wealth, prosperity, karma, doing action, opulence, and all the three. And then after that is when you move to Saraswati, which is knowledge, which is sattva, the true knowledge, the highest knowledge, where there is a eradication of ignorance. So Rajasic also represents the sun. Okay, that's when the activity starts, right? When the day starts and the activity starts. They also say that moon represents the sattva part of it. All right, where the knowledge or the even in the darkness, the light is shining through the moon. So, how does one remember these? There are four Navratris in the entire year, right? There's the Gupt Navaratri also. There is other two Navaratris, but we are only doing this fasting for these Navaratri. People, the others who do for other Navaratris also. But the fasting is one important point which allows you to know that something different is happening in your life for these 9 days. All right. So, so in the bhakti bhav, there are two aspects of bhakti, right? One is uh, uh, Dvait bhakti, and there is Advait bhakti, or concept of religion, or concept of devotion, or concept of prayer, or puja, or connection. So Dvait means there's a sense of duality where we say that as we do the idol worship, or we see God as something different from us, and there is a flow of energy to create a connection. And Advait is where there is no other, there's only oneness, and that God is manifested within you, and you are only waiting for a time when you will be ready to reveal it onto yourself. Some people who are already spiritually elevated can understand the Advait Bhakti, the oneness part of it. They do not require any visualization to purify themselves and to connect with the divine. But most of us, you will realize that we are operating through our senses, and senses require tangibility, whether it is of touch or feel or sound or taste or sight, right? Very difficult to comprehend something, right? Today, if I tell you about electricity, okay, you can comprehend electricity because somebody shows you how electricity moves. There's a spark. That's the idea of electricity. But if you're new to electricity, you don't know how it looks like, how it feels, how it smells, how it tastes. Nothing. So you just don't know how to relate to it because your relation is only limited to your five senses. So people may say, no, why do we believe? That's the beauty of our culture, that we have gods in everything that we see. We try to connect with that highest power within that, which is actually the truth, which is a manifestation of his own creation. So everything that we see is a creation, which is from the creator, which is only one. So the reflection of the creator is in all his creations. And when we connect to those reflections, we just strengthen our connection. As we strengthen our connection, we also start purifying ourselves. Because then we are not distracted towards the impurities or the shiny objects or the distractions that the world has to offer. So it's like an opportunity cost. When you don't spend on something else, you save money to buy or to get something better, correct? Or more valuable for you. So if you don't spend 1 hour watching Netflix, you have 1 hour doing your puja or your sadhana or your meditation. You get closer to the connection, and that's how the purification takes place. So a lot of people may say, no, I don't believe in idol worship, and this is all nonsense and unscientific, but it's actually extremely scientific. Just because you don't have the understanding of science in its totality, people just say this is all unscientific. So and being a science student, I understand this, that our rishis and saints were, I mean, even brilliant is not the word. They were geniuses. They were just super geniuses. And they knew exactly what the future holds for people like you and me. That's exactly why they created all this, so that we are constantly renewed, enriched, rejuvenated, revitalized by these energies regularly. All right. So when you're fasting in these 9 days, you're doing something different from your daily normal routine. You're going to be challenged. All right. And when you're challenged, that's when you awaken. That's when you're more alert. So on one hand, as a concept, fasting is great because it's also a form of detoxification uh, at a physical level. Uh, Also at a mental level, because it challenges your willpower. That and food is one of the biggest attachments which one has to leave. Gets delayed to a large extent. All right, it's not easy. So this allows you to test your willpower. It allows you to detoxify yourself at a physical level. At an emotional level, when you have the right kind of food, your emotions also change. So when you say, I don't want to have onion and garlic, because the kind of food, the kind of energies that they propagate or appreciate is of tamas and rajas. So our entire journey is about moving from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva. So tamas is inertia, inactivity, dullness. Uh, Rajas is activity, which can be good, can also be bad. And sattva is something which is at the highest level of purification. And of course, in our culture, we have to go beyond sattva also to become gunatit, beyond any of the gunas. All right. So these 9 days, we start with tamas because we all have tamas, and tamas is required, right? If you want to go to sleep after a day's work, you require tamas to go to sleep. Otherwise, you will not go to sleep. You will be either in rajas or in sattva. Either you will keep meditating the whole night or you will keep overthinking the whole night. Correct? Overthinking is rajas, meditating is sattva. Extremities of anything is detrimental to one's progress. All right. So idea is that tamas is required, but you need to convert the other tamases to rajas, then convert the rajases to sattva. That is the process. And we will again go through the building blocks of life so that we know that every action of yours that you do can be tamasic, rajasic, or sattvic, right? And this 9 days, when you try to do some fasting, try to change your food habits. Everybody in the house is having all the tasty food, and you are having something very bland and simple of fruits. You are going to be tested, and that test is going to bring the best out of you. That is what is your true potential, which you do not want to explore because we like to be in our comfort zone. And when you are remaining in your comfort zone, you are in a perfect tamasic state. How will you change that unless you push yourself? So these are opportunities or excuses. We make enough excuses not to do something. These are good excuses where you can push yourself and make and do something. Doesn't have to be an elaborate fast that only have water or only have fruits. Yes, now they have given fasting food because people are working. They have so many things happening. Whether working or not, you're constantly on your feet, right? So fasting food are those food which are sattvic, which will give you the required energy. At the same time, it also helps to detoxify your body of what all junk that we are putting into it. All right. So that's why it's a good opportunity to fast. You can fast for 1 day, you can fast for 3 days, you can fast for 9 days. Choice is yours. But do it at least for 1 day. Try it out and see how it is. I also started this way. I used to never fast. And I can't fast. I feel very hungry if I don't eat anything for a long period of time. But fasting food allows me to constantly watch myself. How am I feeling? How am I thinking? How's my energy level? I'm constantly in check, and that's a great feeling to be alert about your own sense of being. So that's why the fasting part of it. And this 9 days allows you to kind of really, once I started eating fasting food, I didn't want to go back to the old food. And if I had my way, I would probably have the fasting food all my life. It is so liberating. It is so energizing. Uh, it jaisa ann vaisa man. So what you eat will directly reflect on the way you are as a human being, right? That is why you will find the people who, I mean, scientifically also proven, but the people who have lot of, when we know energy, right? The energy decides the kind of food that you eat. The person who cooks the food also has direct effect on the energy. That's why in our culture, we first cook the food and give it as bhog to the god, as prasad, and then we have the food. So whenever somebody is agitated, but he is going to cook the food, and he knows that this has to be given as prasad to the deity, which is their Ishtadev or their beloved, in the sense of reverence and devotion, the energies change. You will not cook with the same negative energy when you're cooking for God. That is why this process of giving prasad first to the god, giving the food first to the god, and then consuming it. Brilliant, brilliant way of doing situations, handling situations. It's not just blind faith. It's not being fanatical. It's being scientific. All right, because they understood the human nature more than anybody else. All right, so it's so important. And another thing, when you when an animal is going for slaughter, uh, you can imagine the state of the animal. It already knows that it's going to get killed. It's already in extreme state of trauma, fear, anxiety, worry, sadness, anger. I mean, name it, everything, right? When COVID came, we were all in that state, right? Tremendous amount of fear. So when you kill an animal in that state, what happens is that fear inside the animal gets frozen into the physical body of the energy of the animal, and then you consume that energy, and you are constantly consuming fear, anger, trauma. That is why you will. I'm not saying that it's a written rule. That's why you will find that people who have a lot of non-veg are also very aggressive. And aggression is a direct reflection of fear and not of strength, right? So that is what was is an important aspect that we need to look at. That what are we eating? How are we eating? When are we eating? What are we eating? All of this is extremely, extremely important to watch. It may not be always possible. Clean your food. Now that you know how to do sweeping, clean the food when you eat. If you know colors, you use colors, you can use colors. Clean the food, or just clean it. That all dirty disease energy of all impressions from the cook or the person who cooked the food. That's why mother's food is so tasty, right? Because she's cooking with so much of love, however simple it may be. But you know that you love your mom's food when she makes it for you, because the love aspect is so prominent in that, and that's the key. And when you go to a restaurant, it's very, very rajasic or very rich, because you want to uh, titillate the taste buds and have more people having your food, and so that you can make more profit. So it's more of a rajasic this thing. And tamasic food is, of course, non-veg or drug abuse or all these intoxicating things. These are the tamasic part of food. Sattvic is when you have all this good stuff. Rajasic when you have your fast food, or what do you call it, junk food, all Rajasic. Junk food actually tamasic, it makes you dull. But heavy rich food is all Rajasic. All right. So everything has got tamas, rajas, and sattva. We need to work on that and uh, change it. So use this as an opportunity to just detach from the world as long as possible and spend some time with these energies, powerful energies. If you can receive those energies and convert them and use them, it will accelerate your purification. And today is the day one of Navaratri, which is before on which we pray to goddess Parvati in the form of Shailya right? The feminine energy is going to be the future, who are going to, till now, the masculine energy was ruling. Now, it has nothing to do with gender, all right? These are different, these are just qualities that you carry with you, all right? My focus as a person, as a male, is to balance my masculine and feminine energies. That's what I try to see how I can balance these two. And if you're able to balance this, then you will be a balanced person. You will not be, you'll have more clarity in your thinking. All right. So you need to balance these two aspects. That's why Shailaputri, she has, on one hand, she has the Trishul, and one hand, she has the lotus. So whatever is required, whoever requires what, will get that treatment. Okay. So that's how you should be able to balance yourself. Where there is a need to give love, you should be readily available to give love, compassion, joy, happiness, creativity. But where there requires that you need to be a Durga or a Kali, so be it. That will also happen. Correct? So both the energies are required, and both energies can work in both the forms, in an offensive form as well as a loving form. Even that offensive form is a higher sense of love, right? It is out of love that sometimes we have to beat our children or scold our children, because we love them so much. We want them to be good human beings in the future. So that's also an act of love. It may be offensive, but it's for a higher purpose. Just like Krishna told Arjuna to fight the war, he says, no, you have to fight. That's your dharma. It's for a higher purpose. Right? So, and of course, Shailaputri is the goddess, is the daughter of the Himalayas. So she represents purity. She represents innocence, peace, calmness, also prosperity and abundance, because Mother Nature, right? Abundance, a lot of richness. And only in this earth can we be spiritually awakened as human beings, right? That's the only place we are able to shift, can come out of this cycle. So that spiritual awakening also happens on Mother Earth. So that's also she is supposed to be prayed for. And also, if you have any issues with the moon in your energies, then they pray to Shailaputri Mata for balancing the yin aspect. Chandranadi and Suryanadi, the balancing aspect also works through this. All right. So let us use this opportunity to pray and improve our devotional level through these 9 days. Of course, you can do puja, you can have fasting food, you can also be in mourn for a while, you can also go and play dandiya or garba. Enjoy the festivities. The idea is when you enjoy festivities and you're constantly in festivity, what is happening during festivities? You're constantly in celebration. And life should be a celebration. Make that a habit. And especially more today, because otherwise everybody is going into depression. Earlier, there were people who were celebrating all the time. There were people who were struggling, and there were people who were depressed. Now, most people are either celebrating only or fully depressed. Beach ones are nowhere, very minority. So you need to learn to celebrate your life. Only in celebration can you transcend. Only in celebration can the transformation happens. In tamas, rajas, you cannot move to gunatit. You have to move to sattva. Only from sattva can you take that leap of faith and move beyond this. And from tamas, you can't move to sattva. Tamas, you have to come to rajas and then move to sattva. So don't focus on your focus on the low hanging fruits. Something which is light, which you can happens occasionally, is a light rajasic trait. Okay, once a week you watch a serial on the Netflix. That's a light. That's not very rajasic, right? That's a light trait which you can change. And when you change that light trait, it becomes light sattvic. So if you watch movies once a week, or you watch TV once a week, and now you're watching good movies or sattvic movies or movies which inspire you, which make you think, which put you in contemplation, or which brings out the good virtues of existence. So there is that shift that can take place with the same action. All right, it's quite a vast topic and quite deep it can get into. So as of now, try and see how you operate and where you can make a change. All right. So today is white. That's why I'm on white. The color also there, so you can try the colors. Wear the colors. Colors have their own properties. And when you're wearing that color, understand the properties and see how you respond to those properties, how you feel in that color, how you can use that color to your benefit. All right.